on into class. I'm so excited. We all here at XC Crafts are so excited to have you here. We cannot wait to get started on this new virtual class featuring the Made by Elves collection. I hope you all have everything you need to, let me see. There we go. I hope you all have everything you need to craft along with us, with me, with us. Hi, everybody. We've got our chat box going. If you don't have it open, we always have a little socialization going on in our chat box. So say hi there if you feel comfortable or if you want to. And if you have any questions as we go along, we're going to keep everybody muted just because we have a bunch of people, so we don't want background noise and stuff. So we're going to keep everyone muted. If you want to share your camera while you're crafting along, we'd love to see your smiling face. Oh, hi, Tony. Hello. Yeah, so use that chat box to ask any questions, and I will keep an eye on it while we get going and as we're going and all of that stuff. So, I see a couple cameras coming on. Hello, guys. Get ready to craft. I hope everybody has everything that they need. We are going to be playing with the Made by Elves collection today and making a couple super duper cute cards. I love this collection from Craft Consortium, designed by Held Couple-Ditch. She is just a well-known British designer and artist, really, from the UK. And her style is just so whimsical and cute. And I love all of the little characters in her little playful Made by Elves collection. Here's the 12 by 12 pad full of all kinds of fun stuff. And we're going to play along with her stamps and all kinds of stuff. So why don't I flip us over so we can get a closer look and be able to see everything. There we go. Oh, I see your comment, Darlene. I hope that made it a little less fuzzy for you. Hopefully you can see everything okay. So let's see. So we're going to make these two cards, and I want to start off with this one. We'll start off with this guy. So what we're going to do is, and this is the first class of a free class we're going to have every Thursday in November at 1:30, and it's all using this same link, so you can just join back in with this Zoom link. It's going to be all in the same classroom kind of thing. So we're going to start off with this card, and what we've done is started with a card base of 4 3/4 by 6 inches. So 4 3/4 by 6 inches. So we're just going to start with some plain white cardstock. This is our EC card 25, that's the SKU for it, our premium white cardstock. And honestly, this is the cardstock I use for all of my card bases. It's a nice heavyweight cardstock and just beautiful for making your little card bases with. So we're going to cut that into 6 inches lengthwise. Trim it up. Six inches. There we go. I've got Corey in the producer's booth, so I'm hoping he's letting everybody in from the waiting room as they pop in, because I can see everybody still filtering in. So I don't want to get too far ahead. Maybe while we just give everyone a couple minutes. So we're just starting our card base here. But this is the first of 4 classes we're having in November. So every Thursday. So this is our cards this week. We've got our Made by Elves card, and maybe I'll just leave that guy there so that we can keep an eye on it while we craft our new one. And then next Thursday on the 11th, same time, same place, we're going to be making a couple of these cards. Hello, Brenda. Hello. Hello, Sue. Hi, everybody. There we go. Oh my goodness, people are still coming in. We've got a full class. Okay, and we're going to make this little shaker card that's featuring our studio light stamps. So I'm sure Corey will be posting the links for this class. If you don't already have the materials needed for next week, you can grab that link in the chat box. And of course, it's up on our website at xtcrafts.com under the little inspiration tab. If you made it to this class, I'm sure you know how to make it to the next class. Aren't they so pretty, Sue? I love these. And just adding a little bit of color like we're going to do in class just brings them to life. They're true works of art. I love them. Okay, then on the following Thursday, November 18th, we're going to be making this little slimline window card. It's a cutie patootie with those little characters from Nellie's Choice. They're so adorable. We're going to be making this one, and we're going to be making a little winter wishes card. We can play around with some pixie sparkles, and just came in. I wasn't sure if we were going to be able to use it in class or not, but we just got it in the warehouse. So we've got it up on the website for anybody that wants to order it. The Cosmic Shimmer Embossing Sprinkles. So that's what's given us this snowy effect. So we're going to get a chance to play with those for the first time in class on November 18th, making these two beautiful cards. So grab whatever you want from the list up on XT Crafts, whatever products you want to pick and choose, use what you've got on hand, and grab any feature products you want to use, or just watch along and check out some of the new products and maybe learn a new technique or two. So then we've got, Brenda's looking forward to the Winter Wishes card. This is on November 18th. Yeah. So excited. And next week. Yep. I know I love them all. And then this is going to be the November 25th class. So if you guys aren't already linked up on the Facebook events off of our Facebook page, that's where we're kind of posting a bunch of reminders and all kinds of just talking about it. So you can join those events from our Facebook page too, to get a reminder kind of thing. So we're making a tag. This is on the 25th. We're going to learn how to use tag punches, not that it's a difficult thing, and then use them on a card. So lots of fun stuff. I cannot wait. So enough chit-chatting. Hello, Hannah. Hello, Terry Lynn. Okay. So let's get started. So we're starting with this card from the Made by Elves collection. And we're starting with our card base of 4 3/4 by 6 inches, 4 3/4 inches by 6 inches. So we've just trimmed this cardstock lengthwise to 6 inches. And then we're going to trim it to 9.5 inches. So 6 inches by 9.5 inches. And guys, let me know in the comments if I know we're just getting started, but if I'm going way too fast, let me know and I'll try and let everyone keep up to us. Okay, so we've got 9.5 inches by 6 inches. I like to just get my card base done and out of the way so that we can build the fun stuff. So 9.5 by 6, and then we're going to score our cardstock or just fold it in half, but I'm going to score it at 4 3/4. And oh my goodness, we have more people in the waiting room. I'm sure Corey's on it, letting everybody into class. Okay. So we've scored it at 4 3/4. There we go. Woo. And we've got our card base that is 4 3/4 by 6 inches, all set to go. Now, while we're at it, we're going to take some of the paper from our Made by Elves pad. So whether you have the Made by Elves pad or you want to use another patterned paper, we're just going to build our little background there. So I'm going to use this glittery, gorgeous glittery, I love this pad, the glittery snowflakes from the paper pad, from the 6 by 6 paper pad, but the 12 by 12 paper pad does the same thing. It's just a little larger format. So I'm going to grab a sheet of patterned paper. And we're going to trim it because this one's already 6 inches, but if you're using a larger sheet, we're going to trim it to 6 inches by 4 3/4 inches. Six inches by 4 3/4 inches. Trim that up. Beautiful. All right. So I'm just applying double-sided tape to the back of this. For whatever pattern paper you choose. I mean, if you have the Made by Elves pads, you know it is tough to choose a favorite one. I love them. They've got the pearlized paper, pearlescent paper, I guess, on some of the patterns. I don't know if the camera picks it up, but it's just like slightly shimmery. And then they have the varnished ones. Do you see those candy canes? They're like raised up a bit. And then the glitter pattern as well. I love the Craft Consortium does such a nice job with their pattern paper. So we've got our double-sided tape or glue or however you want to attach this background paper to your card base. So I'm just using my double-sided tape, but do whatever you want to do to get it on there. And then I learned this trick earlier this year, and I don't know if I've ever shared it with you guys, but with double-sided tape, because you know it's nice when you have glue and you can like wiggle it around and line everything up. You don't get that chance when you're using double-sided tape. So I like to peel off my edges just on opposite corners, just the tab, and fold it over. Let me do the other side. So I just peel up the corner and fold it over. And peel up the corner and fold it over. And then you can just tack it down just on those corners. And if you can't get it lined up properly, it is a heck of a lot easier to get it off of just those corners versus the whole page that you've taped down. So there, we've got it lined up nice. And then I just use these pull tabs and peel them off, and it seals the rest of it down, but it's already lined up. I don't have to worry. We just pull them out and it's lined up perfectly. There we go. So we've got our base done. Done, done, done. Now, next up, let's do our frame. Why don't we do our frame? So to make this frame, I'm going to be using this set of Hefty Doodle frame dies, but any frame die will work for this. It's just not as cute as these little scalloped edges. So I feel like these scalloped edges just go with the kind of whimsical theme from from this collection, from Heltz Coupledish, the designer, the artist from the Made by Elves collection. Okay, so I'll let you know, just in case you don't have the exact die as the same exact die as me, I'll let you know in an approximate measurement. So the outside of my die is about 4 inches by about 5¼ inches. And I just want to make sure I have enough room in the center for our little character that we're going to use. So whatever frame you want, we want it to fit on our card base, obviously. And we want to frame our little elf on his workbench nicely. That's all we're at. That's all we're looking for, really. So this Happy Doodle frame does the trick. And I'm going to load this up on my die cutting plates. I'm going to be using my Go Power and Emboss machine. And I'm going to cut it out of red cardstock. So that's all we're doing, running it through, cutting it out of our red cardstock and cutting a frame. So I'm just cutting this. Can you guys hear the Go Power machine, or is it whisper technology? There we go. Okay. So we've got our frame cut out. All set to mount on to our card. And we can actually put it on now if we want. And we can do that either with foam pads or foam strips if we want to add a little dimension and just pop that frame up. Or we can just do it with tape, however we want, or glue or any adhesive you've got. No big deal. I better get it a little thinner. There we go. So I'm just applying my double-sided tape. There we go. And I'm going to do that same peeling off trick. So just folding the corners back. Am I late to this trick? Maybe you're all like, yeah, Kaylee, we know. I don't know. But it has changed my life regardless. So just pulling the little corner tabs back, folding them back. There we go. And lining it up so it's centered on our card base. And popping down the corners. I'm late to it. Okay. It's new to me. And you know, a lot of people that I've talked to. So sharing it for those of you, that don't already know. Okay, so we've got our frame down. Now we're going to get to the fun part, for me anyways, the fun part. We're going to stamp our stamp. I'm going to be using the a stamping platform. And for me, this is key when I am coloring with alcohol inks. Make sure you're using the correct ink for alcohol inks. I'm going to be using Memento my Tuxedo Black. It's a fade resistant dye ink. It's perfect for alcohol markers. And I'm going to be using the Memento little same brand, same type of ink, but just in a lighter color. And we are going to, hang on. Antoinette said I had smaller frame, but there was the same picture in the right size. There was the same. Oh, well, awesome. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to stamp. Everyone's good. We're going to stamp our little elf. I'm going to stamp him in the light gray first. And I like to use my stamping platform for this. I mean, it's basically a necessity. If you're going to stamp twice, if you're going to try and stamp in the same place twice, I highly recommend a stamping platform. So we want to make sure we've got enough room here so that we're going to be able to trim him up and fit him into our card base. So I'm going to be using the exact same frame because it cuts out this inner square as well. So I want to just make sure there's enough room around my stamp that I'm going to be able to trim him up using that die afterwards to get that inner rectangle to pop into our frame. So that will work for us. Doesn't have to be a full sheet of white cardstock. You can use a scrap. Just make sure you've got enough for your frame. Alrighty. So I've mounted him on my stamping platform and I'm going to stamp him in the light gray Memento ink or whatever ink you've got for whatever coloring medium you're going to use. If you're not necessarily, you don't have to use alcohol ink markers if you don't want to. But just choose your inks accordingly. There we go. Just a light stamp. Now we're going to leave our stamp on the platform. That is so important so that we can restamp them in the same spot. Okay, so by using this light gray, we're kind of just, we have the image set so that we can color him in. And then we're going to re-outline him in the black to really bring the picture to life in our final little scene. Okay, so you can either color along with the card picture or the image on the stamp itself. I love that they give a great little idea for shading and getting your colors picked out so that they coordinate perfectly with your papers. So why don't we start with the desk? I think I'm going to start with the desk. So you can test out your colors. Make sure you, if you're testing out your colors, like this is why I always like to have extra paper because I kind of like put them down and around. Make sure you're not getting it in anywhere that you're going to cut out afterwards. We want to leave this space blank. So we're going to color our desk in, and with alcohol markers anyways, I don't know what you're using, but with alcohol markers, I like to have a light shade and a darker shade to do some of the shadows with. So we've got our browns, and I think this one will be his hair. So we can start in there. We've got the brush tip from our alcohol markers from Couture Creations, and then we have the fine point as well. But any old alcohol ink markers will do the trick. And we're just going to start coloring in our image. So we will see as we add these colors, you can do one swipe of your ink, and then you can work in a shadow just by going over that, and it'll you'll darken that color a little bit, just a subtle shadow. Now, if you wanted a darker shadow, oh, Carol loves the Couture markers. Me too, me too. Okay, if we want a darker shadow, we can go in with our darker brown to kind of shadow under the lip of that desk. And then I like to go back over it with my lighter color and kind of just blend that out to give us a little shadow effect. So we're going to go color in our desk. And I go piece by piece because if I'm doing any blending, I like it to still be wet. I like the area that I'm working on to not be, like, you don't want to put too much ink on the page, but I like it to still be wet so that the areas blend nicely. So let's add in a little shadow on this swirl. Dorothy, is that you? You're able to watch us from your hospital bed? I hope you're doing well. This is just regular cardstock. This is actually our Ecstasy Crafts cardstock, but you know, any old cardstock will do. The nicer quality cardstock, you're obviously going to be able to blend a little bit better. Yes, Brenda, don't you love the cardstock? We do too. It's been very popular. It's like the only white cardstock I use now, since we've got it in. So nice and smooth. Okay, so I'm just coloring in those little cubbies. There we go. And we can add some shadow in there. Shadow the corners of those cubbies a little bit. And blend that out. How do I know ahead of time that I want to blend? Oh, I typically want to blend where I'm blending a shadow, really, just to make the image pop. That's all. So if I know there's a shadow, and to be honest with you, with these guys, I kind of just copied off of the packaging. So in the little cubbies on the desk, there's some shadow in there, and under the lip of the desk, there's some shadow. So that's what I'm keeping in mind. Anywhere I would imagine a shadow to be on the stamped image, that's where I know I'm going to want to blend in that darker color. And again, you can blend in the darker color or blend in just another layer of the same color. So you'll see, why don't I do it here maybe for you guys? So we've got our just single layer of our color. And if I do a double layer there, and then we've got a triple layer. So you can see even just within the same color, you get that variation of shading. So it just blends together smoothly when you have when you have it wet still. So if we say one layer of our light brown, and then we say, okay, we'll put a little of our dark brown there, and then we blend it out. There we get some like severe shading. And it just flows when it's wet. So now I was talking and didn't blend in, didn't blend it in while it was wet, but whatever. It's not the end. It'll still be okay. It's not the end of the world. But you'll find as you go along that the colors meld and blend together easier when it's all wet on there. So I wouldn't do like a huge swath. Like I wouldn't color in the full desk and then go back and try and blend things out. I just do sections at a time. I'm just getting the corners of those cubbies again on this side. And blending them back out just by going over with my lighter color. Oh, I'm happy to explain. No problem. I keep putting the lid on, but we're still going. My goodness. Just coloring the rest of that desk. And why don't we just do a little shadow along the bottom? And maybe we'll just make those guys a little bit. And you will find the little knobs. You'll find that it looks dark now, but as your alcohol inks dry, they do lighten up. So there we've got our desk done up. Okay. Now, while we're on brown, why don't we add a little bit of color? I'm going to color in our elf's hair. Just with that fine point tip, because it is a smaller area and I don't want it to bleed out. So you can just go in, and I like to kind of, in small areas like that, I like to just tap, tap, tap the color in, kind of, so that I don't overload it, because they can bleed outside of the lines. And, you know, some of it can be hidden as like, oh, that's a shadow or like whatever. But I just like to be mindful of how much ink I'm putting on in those tight places. Color in our hammer. Anything else? And oh, why don't we color in our believe sign in that other dark brown that we were using for the desk. Here we go. And let's color our birdie up here on the train. Let's go with our light brown. This is in case we have all the colors listed. If you want to go back and check up on our website under the Made by Elves class tab. So I'm going to just color in, just start with just coloring in the light areas. So just his face or her. Although with that red belly, it looks like a male, doesn't it? And then right underneath. Was I just holding that up and covering? So just those two spots. And then while it's still wet, I'm going to use a peachy color to just add a little touch of rosy cheeks while it's still wet, and we'll see that it helps it to blend together. We're not going to color over it, but just while it's wet, we're adding that peach on his cheek, because that just makes it adorable. And then we'll use a dark brown for the rest of his feathers and a little red belly. Make him a little cute robin. And we'll fleck those other feathers. Bonnie and Lawrence says that they're impressed that I can talk and work at the same time. Wow. We'll see. Sometimes I go quiet and I have to remind myself, like, oh yeah, you're all here with me. It's weird not seeing, like, it's weird not being in person. Okay. So what do we want to do now? Let's do our reds. We've got our one red. So I'm using a lighter red and a darker red. I'm using from the couture markers anyways. It's going to be 193 is the lighter red and 187 is the darker red. So we've got red and geranium. So we can do a little bit of shading with that if we want. So let's start with the his undershirt kind of. Let's start with that. So I'm going to color his sleeves and then the center of his shirt. with the light red. And it is like a Christmas red for sure. So we're just going to do that quickly. Color that in. Sleeves. Here we go. Then I'm going to take the darker red, just the fine point tip. And just where there's a little bit of shading, like maybe under his arm. And just on the outsides of his vest. Shade a little. And under his arm again. You see that? So I shaded there. On the outer sides of his undershirt and under his other arm. Hey, Jenny, thanks for joining. No worries if you're a little late. Oh, and if anybody can't stay for the full thing or what, if you're coming in late, whatever, don't forget, we are going to post a recording of it. So you'll be able to watch the replay. Or if you want to go back and make more cards. Okay, so I'm going to add some red to the zigzaggy top of his little elf hat. So again, with my light red, I'm going to color that in. And then I'm going to take my dark red and just with the pointed tip, do a little line across the base of that red section as a shadow. Okay. While I'm here, I'll grab the little red berry of our holly. Holly branches there. In the desk decorations. And why don't we, oh, there's a little label on a can down in the bottom right corner of the desk. I'll color that red too. And let's color our present. Couple presents. We'll have a couple red presents. Adding red. You could color in the stripes if you wanted. And then with the fine point, going on the outside of the present just to add some depth to the gift. Oh, well, we're glad you're able to be here too. Jenny, thank you for joining. Love having you. I've missed having these regular classes. So I'm excited every Thursday in November. Okay, so I'm going to do the top of this present in red. And why don't we do this polka dot present in red as well? Over here. Make sure you, or try your best to not hit that little ribbon on that one at the bottom. And then go in with our dark red and add a little shading to the one side of the top of that. It looks like a planter pot, but who knows? And then to the outsides of the polka dot present. There we go. And what else do we want? Red. I hope you're all taking your own creative license as well, doing your own thing. I'm going to make the polka dots on his hat red too. Just quick little taps to hit those teensy tiny little dots. So it doesn't bleed out too much. Again, not the end of the world, but you know, do your best. And then let's do the roof of our train. And maybe just around the light, we'll add a couple portions of red. How's everybody doing? Good, I hope. I hope. Okay. And then let's make some red stripes on his scarf too, before we put this away. So just right on the line, I'm just gonna run the fine tip of my red marker right on the line of his scarf, right on the line, so that there's a white gap in between each stripe. You could go every other if you wanted. I just want some thin little stripes. And then on the horizontal stripes on his scarf. Cute, cute, cute. Oh, and we'll do the little bolts on our train. I tend to just color all in one color first, if I know what I'm doing. You know, like I'm basically coloring off of based on the image from the stamps. I love that they give us that inspiration. And maybe we'll color in the headlights on the train. Color them red. You could color them orange if you wanted. So I've gone with our light red. And then I think these ones can take a little shading, go around with our dark red around the outside. Got some nice shading going on. All right. So let's switch to green now. I've got the 358 and the 354, and the numbers don't necessarily line up. So I always like to test it on my paper off to the side and see which one's darker. Pale green is lighter than the light misty green in my mind. So that's what I'm going to do. Let's color our vest green. Just a quick coat. And use whatever end you feel most comfortable with. If you feel like you have more control with, you know, the finer tip versus the brush tip, do that, right? Okay, and then I'm going to go in with my darker green and give them a little bit of a shadow down the side, across the bottom. Look at that. So cute. Okay. And oh yeah, he's got a little shirt tail sticking out, flipping out here along the base of the desk. There we go. Now let's color in the like pointy part of his hat in that green, that light green, lighter green, I suppose. They're both pretty intense greens, bright greens. Okay, and then go in with our darker and just give that shadowed line. Now we can color our holly leaves while we're here. The light green. And give a line of the dark green down the center if we want. There we go. And let's color the bow of our present with the light green and give us little, I like to color the knot of my bows and then a little swipe out into the bow with the darker. I don't know if it shows that, but there you go. And then we'll just add a couple bits and pieces in green to our train. So maybe around the wheels, add a little green in there. And then the frame around the windows, I'll make green. There we go. There's not a whole lot of room in there to add shading, but you could if you wanted. With the darker, just do a small line down the inside. Just keep adding that depth in. Really brings the image to life. Okay. Now, what do we want to do? Oh, we forgot the brown on his belt. I want to pick a dark brown and do his belt. There we go. And a dark brown. Why don't we shade with the even darker brown? And let's make some of the train dark brown too. Around the wheels, maybe across the front here. Brown, nice and dark. And our top curve here. So we can see we're kind of losing the light gray just fades into the color. And the reason I do the light gray is because it doesn't bleed a whole lot with the Memento, but if you add too much alcohol marker, your ink does bleed no matter what. So I love to do the light, get my image done, and then seal it up with the black. And it just brings the image to life. Okay. What else do we need now? Should we do blue? Let's go blue. So we've got our powder blue and pale blue. So 9421 and 9482. So I'm just gonna, again, test them out. There's the pale blue and the powder blue. Let's go with the pale blue as our light. So let's color that ribbon in blue, just the top ribbon. The little snowflake jar there in the cubby of the desk. And we can do our mug too if we want. Blue. In the light blue, and then we're going in and shading with that slightly darker blue. Same with the other side, there's that little snowflake jar. Let's grab that one with our blue. There we go. And shade them in with our darker blue. What else? What else do we need? Oh yeah. Let's do this top part of the train. Just adding that color in. And here, shade it in a bit. And that front panel. I don't know parts of trains. I don't know what that is. The like scoopy part. Shade that in. Beautiful. And let's add a little blue to our windows. So just those lines across our window, we'll just go with our blue of the train, the window of the train. Just kind of run it along the lines that are already there. Okay, now what do we need? Should we do yellow? Add in that kind of goldy yellow. So we've got fresh yellow, 142, and light orange, 151. I'm going to use the light yellow on, we've got a little bell in our desk, or the fresh yellow, sorry, fresh yellow. And let's color that bow in. And we can always go and add some shading with the light orange. And we'll color up this planter present. And the bell over here. The bell's there. And let's color the ribbon on this present. In this front little polka dot present. Color that up. And then we can add shading in with the darker yellow or the light orange, I guess. If we want. Add a bit of shading there. There we go. Now let's do around here on the train. Our bell. And that centerpiece. Then we can always shade the orange. Just on the shaded bits. Perfect. Okay. Now, shall we do the little elf's face? I'm going to use just a light skin color. We can make his skin any color we want. I'm going to use the light skin color here and color in his face. I'm going to have my peach ready to do his little rosy cheeks. Right on his cheeks. Add that peach in. Oh my goodness, it's so cute. Look at him. Come on. Then I like to take just a very, very, very light gray and add a little bit of shadow to, we can add it to his face, just under his chin there. It looks like it's an actual shadow. Maybe along his scarf. Just on the bottom of his scarf with a, see how light this gray is? You can barely see it. This is 5305 Greek white. And we'll color his little, the ball on his little hat. And let's color some of the train in too in that nice light gray. We can shade with the same color just by layering it on. Going around those red headlights. And the hammer. Add a little gray to that, the head of the hammer. Now, oh, we forgot to color his hands. We can either make them mittens or I'm going to make them his skin, the same tone as his face. Now, what do we need? We still need pink. We haven't added any pink yet. Okay. Try our pink colors. I think I'm going to go with the pink 230 and just shade it with itself because it is a definite pink. Maybe his belt buckle in pink. And parts of our train. Filling in all those spots, those blank spots. The ribbon down here in the desk. We're going to do our last present in pink. Don't forget to shade with the same color. Just give an extra swipe over the side that you're shading. And let's do those plaid dots or the checks across. So I'm going to add pink to every other check on the top line and every other check on the bottom line, the same, so they line up. See what I've done? I mean, do it however you want. This is how I'm doing it. And then I will go opposite through the middle to give that like checkered board effect. And then I'm going to fill in the other ones, the uncolored ones, uncolored checks on the top and bottom with my light red. And I'm going to leave those uncolored ones blank through the center so it looks kind of like a basket weave pattern. Okay. What else? Now I always end up missing something. So I better everybody double check that they didn't miss anything. Oh, I see a spot. I missed green around my high beam thing on the train. Oh, and I didn't color in his button. Just going to color that in with yellow. Did we hit everything? It looks pretty good to me. Okay. Now, before we cut it, I like to give it, make sure it's dry. If you do any big like swaths of coloring, this project is okay because they're also small. They dry pretty quick. But if you're doing large swaths, make sure it's dry before you go to restamp your black ink. Okay, so I'm going to take my stamp press back or my stamping platform back and put my paper exactly where it was before. Make sure it's wedged in that corner. And I always like to be safe. Make sure the stamp is all okay before I ink it up. And then I'm going to ink it with that black ink. With my Memento black ink. And hold your breath. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful. See how that just, we add the black ink over top and it just totally brings them back to life. Nice crisp lines. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, right, doesn't it? It really makes it pop. Okay. Really makes them pop. Now, and take that stamp off of my stamping platform. Give everybody a second. I hope everyone's on track with us. Who's crafting? Who's watching? Who's just watching along with us? Let me know in the chat. Okay, clean up my markers. Okay. Just watching along, Ashley. Nice, nice, nice. Okay, and Karen. Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're able to come hang out. Okay. Oh, thanks, Brenda. Yes, I think it just makes it so crisp when you stamp with the black afterwards. Oh, glad you're all watching along. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay, so now we're going to take our die and just place it over our elf where we want to cut him out. So I better get my cutting plates here. Place them over. And cut them out. Now make sure you do this step after you've re-stamped with your black, because there's no going back if you aren't able to re-stamp it in the exact same spot. Ooh, Ooh, Antoinette, fussy cutting. I love it. I can't wait to see your work. If anybody is crafting along, whether you're making this project or you're just hanging out and in the crafty mood and making a project, share with us on our Facebook group, Crafting with Ecstasy. Okay. So now we've got him cut out. Clear this stuff away. We've even got a bonus frame for our next project or for another project. Okay. Now, before we mount him on our card, which is easy peasy, we can choose to add a little bit of garland. And I kind of just freehanded this by tracing just a round object and creating the swoops from the garland. So if anybody wants to do it, you could, anything round, like we can use the edge of our tape. We can use our water bottle. Maybe that's what I'll use. The edge of my water bottle. And a black pen. Permanent black pen. So that it doesn't bleed. Okay, and then we're just going to make a little swoop across the center. There we go. Oh, and we can stamp on our holly. Let's do that too. You can draw it, stamp it, whatever you want. Stamp our holly on. I'm going to pull, there's a couple sets from this collection that have holly on it. 1, 2, 3. 3 sets that have holly on it. So we can pull a little holly from there. Stamp it on with our light gray. Let that dry. And then we'll just quickly color our leaves in. With that light green. And then our dark green, give it a little shading through the center. And we better get that red holly berry. Okay, let that ink dry a little. Gotta get a drink. Okay, that should be good enough. It's not a whole lot. Re-ink with our black. Bam. There we go. Got our little holly. Done, done, done. Then let's draw the rest of our swoops. So I stopped and stamped because I don't want my swoop to, like my black marker or pen, to go right through where that holly was. Make it look real. So now just in the very corner, add a swoop. Add another swoop. And try and get them symmetrical. Here we go. So we've got a little garland going on. It's not perfect, but whatever. It's cute. Okay, then I'm just going to put a dot of green and then a dot of red. And I'm going to go all green first. Just going zigzag kind of across my garland, making sure I leave room for the red dots. So you can do this on any holiday card, or honestly, it could be for any birthday card or anything, any celebratory card. You can always add garland. So cute. It's just such an easy way to do it. Okay. And dots, leaving room for that red. Imagine just rainbow colors for a birthday. Be so cute. You could do just garland and then happy birthday, or just garland and Merry Christmas. Nice sentiment. Be a cute card. Now I want to make it. And of course, the longer you hold your marker, the larger your dot's going to be. Okay, so we got our green. Let's go in with our red. And I just go kind of in between the green. Just like that. Adding them in, dot, dot, dot. There, look how festive. It just turns the whole scene into a party. Okay, there. So we'll add him on. I'm going to put him on with some foam pads, but I didn't on this one, and I think it still looks very cute. So do whatever you want. This one, I'm putting on with foam pads. I like to make sure I put enough on so that I support the card, so it's not flimsy. Thank you. Yeah, I love the effect of the garland. Thanks, Brenda. Thanks, John. Is it actually John watching, or is it somebody else? It says John's iPhone. There we go. Pop our little elf on. Cutie. Okay. Now, get those out of the way. We can add on little accents if we want. Oh, and we can round the corners if that's something that you wanted. Jenny, right? Jenny, yeah. That's what I thought. Okay. So we've got a couple corner rounders. I'm going to use this guy, the PCT 15. I just like the job it does. So just shove my card in. Can I make it all the way in? I think I got to go one at a time. It's too thick. There we go. Wedge my card in. And it just nicks that corner off, and then it kind of matches it up with our scalloped frame. You know what? I feel like I did it with both on this one. It must reach. Yeah, you just have to want it. There we go. Perfect. These corner punches are great. I like all of the hunky dory punches. We've got tag punches and banner punches. And just a back page. There. There we go. Cute. Okay. You can add gems. I kind of like to add the red ones onto the lights of the train. Just to add a little bling. These are the enamel dots from the Made by Elves collection. There we go. Just add a little more dimension. And why don't we add a little hammer and wrench from this set? They're so cutie cute. So I just need to trim one off. Grab a little hammer and wrench. You can just arrange them in the corner. And I'm just going to attach them with glue. You could attach them with sticky specks if you wanted. Any glue that dries clear will do the trick. This is our Hallmark craft glue. And I like it for this kind of thing. Just on the corner. There we go. Perfect. Yeah, you're so right, Sue. These little hammers and wrenches would work great on any masculine card. I know we were running out of stock. I'm not sure if we're totally sold out now or not. Okay, there we have it. Card number 1 is done. Ew, what a cutie. Oh, it's honestly, for me, I think it's the rosy little cheeks. Just get me. All right. Okay. So we're done. Set that aside to let that glue dry up. Be careful with it. Oh, we could also stamp. Like I always like to take my my theme inside my card. So we could stamp a little robin on the inside corner if we wanted. The set comes with a little itty bitty separate robin. So you could add that on there if you wanted. Finish it off. Add a little something special. Okay, let me tidy up a little bit. And then we can make our second card. Where is it? Oh, yes. We're back. I've got everything we need. I hope you all have everything we need for this card. I hope everybody had a chance to have a little bathroom break if they needed it. Grab a drink. We still have lots of crafting to do. Okay, so we're going to start off with a card base for this card of 4 inches by 5 1/4 inches. So where's my cutter? I'm going to trim my cardstock to 8 inches, which the sheet probably is, and 5 1/4 inches. Eight inches by 5 1/4. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Darlene. I am too. I truly, like, I'm not just saying it to be like, oh, I love having you here. Like, I truly missed crafting with everyone. Okay, so we've got our white cardstock trimmed to 8 inches by 5 1/4 inches. And then we are going to score it at 4 3/4. This is wrong. What did I do here? No, 4 inches. My goodness. 4 3/4. Geez. Fold it in half. That's all. I'm making it too complicated for myself. So we had 8 inches, or cardstock trimmed to 8 inches by 5 1/4, and we're scoring it in half at 4 inches. There, my goodness, Kaylee. I should have had an afternoon coffee or something. Okay. So card base ends up being 4 inches by 5 1/4. Little cutie. Ashley, you're never going to let me live that down. In one of our classes, for those of you that don't know, Ashley is roasting me right now. She's making fun of me because we had to tie a bow in one of our classes. I don't even remember what class that was. And I could not tie a bow to save my life. It was it was so embarrassing. The Easter one. Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was bad. Now I refuse to tie a bow without our bow maker. I mean, I think I even was using the bow maker and I just couldn't figure it out. Okay. So we've got card base 4 by 5 1/4. And then we are going to choose a background paper. I love this gingham. It is just crazy and like almost so, like it's almost ugly, but like so ugly. I really just like it. Oh, I'm glad everybody's feeling my pain on tying the bows. So that makes me feel a little better. Okay, so I'm going to choose the gingham because I really love it. But again, I feel like it's ugly, but so ugly, it's good. And we're going to steal that out of our 6x6 pad. You could use the sheet out of your 12x12 pad too, or any pattern paper you got laying around that kind of fits with the bright colors and whimsical theme, holiday theme. Okay. Also love these little scenes. I hate to cut through them. I love that they have so many different elements in these paper pads. Okay. So we're going to trim this patterned paper to 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. 3.5 by 4 3/4. Oh, June. Yep, you're good. You're good. Welcome to class. Glad you could make it. So we're going to center our paper on our card. And I'm not going to waste anyone's time by showing you the tape trick that I'm so excited about. Well, I'm still going to do it, but I won't walk you through it because I'm late to the game on that one. Oh, I'm sorry you struggled to get into class, June. I hope everything's going good now. And don't forget, you can always watch the replay to catch the first card. I'm hoping our internet is so slow here. So by the time I get it uploaded, it might be on Monday. We'll see. I'll do my best to get it up right away though. Okay, so I'm just going to center this on there. Here we go. Beautiful. And then we're going to use this background die, this striped background die, to cut out of red cardstock. So I'm going to use that same sheet of red that I used before. Sue, what are you talking about? Marion had some pre-made Christmas bows. Oh yeah. Yeah. If you guys haven't seen those, all of you struggling with bows, great tip, Sue. You're always on the game. Great tip. How many cards are we making today? Oh, we're making 2. This is the last one. Yeah, those little bows from Paper Boutique. Oh, I had them on my desk the other day. I showed them off in a Facebook Live for those of you that want to know what we're talking about, those bows. They're the best. They come in red and gold and red and green, a couple different packs. Actually, all of the like ephemera from those new Paper Boutique collections are just so cute. After I showed them off in the Facebook Live, I had a couple people come in and buy them. Actually, I think Hannah's watching. I think it was Hannah that bought it yesterday. The little snowflake sequins from that collection. They're cuties. Okay, so I'm just running it through to cut that little striped background die. You don't have to add a striped background die. You can do anything you want. Just adding a little bit of interest. I do kind of like these stripes though, because it's like candy cane stripes, kind of. Okay, pop out all the pieces. What am I doing? It's a little late. There. Use my little pokey outy tool. You could always save that for a little sentiment somewhere, a nice stitched edge. Rectangle, you can always use those. Okay. Now we're going to pop this on our card base. I rarely do it, but I think I might use a little glue just to make sure it's on there properly. You could use tape if you wanted to run it along all those diagonals, or sticky specs would be a fast one too, if you wanted. Could even use like a half. Why don't we do that? Do I trust myself to be able to put it on in the right spot? Let's do it. We'll just try it. Don't need like full coverage in the sticky specs. Just the odd speck here and there to hold everything down properly. You see? Not full coverage, so that I have some hope of being able to maneuver it around if I don't get it perfectly lined up. There we go. Just a few sticky specks on there. And this is already like a used sheet. I love keeping my used sheets for when I just need a little bit of sticky. Come on, Kaylee. There. Oh my goodness. Nailed it. Thanks, June. Okay. And you can always rub it off if you have a glue eraser. I find it works pretty well when I just rub it off with my fingers. Any stray sticky specks. You can also always use one of the Nelly anti-static tools if you have like crazy stray sticky specks. It just adds a little bit of that powder and makes them so they're not sticky anymore if you have a total nightmare. Okay. Oh, thanks, June. Yeah, they're super cute. I mean, this whole collection is just cutie cute. Cutie cute. Reminds me of like childhood Christmas magic, you know? Okay, now we're going to die cut. We are going to die cut our little oval. So I'm going to use the Frantic Stamper oval die. Here we go. What size do I need? Perfect. I'm going to use the biggest one to cut our green. And put that on my die cutting plates. Okay. Run that through. Excuse me. And get this thing out. Perfect. So we've got our green oval. And then, oh, I guess we could use, I have two. You can use the Nelly multi-frame die, which I love because it just gives you more options, or the Frantic Stamper one, whatever you want. But we got our oval. Nice, nice. Now, I guess we could put it on if we want. Now I'll mount it all together. And set that aside, and we're going to do our stamping and coloring for our little elf carrying the presents. So again, same as last time, I'm going to stamp it on a larger card than what I'm actually using, and I'm going to make sure I have a square card so that I can line up my cardstock again to re-stamp, because we're going to stamp in the light gray memento. and then we'll restamp after we color in the black again. So let's do that. Let's pick our stamp, and we can pick any stamp that we want, really, that fits in there, but I'm going to stick with our little elf carrying presents. And we'll stamp the loose present as well to add a little interest. So again, we just need to make sure we've got enough room. What die are we going to use? Use this one to cut around her. So make sure there's enough space. Don't wedge your other little present in there too close. Give yourself room. Wedge that cardstock into the corner so you know you can get it back in the same spot. And put that light gray on. I think we can do both. Do both in one shot. Yeah, June, you can always craft along when you watch the replay, no problem. Okay, leave your stamps there. Don't pull them off because we're going to restamp it. So set that aside and we can color. So again, you can color based off of this card, or you can color based off of our little stamp package, or you can color however the heck you want to do it. Follow along with me if you want. Excuse me. Okay. Talking for 2 hours straight. I guess it's only been an hour and a half. No big deal. I'm not used to it. I don't see anyone anymore. Okay, so let's do, I guess I'm going to start with the browns again, just like we did on the last card. I don't know why. I just am. So we're going to start with our lighter brown and color in our shoes. And another shoe. Again, working a little quickly because we want that ink to stay wet when we add in our darker color to blend in. What's the question? Was there a bundle package that included everything for these cards? No, Karen, we didn't do a bundle for this one because we wanted you to be able to pick and choose what you needed for it. If we included everything, it would have been kind of a pricier bundle to have all of the dies and all of, and a lot of people, like, a lot of it is basic stuff like an oval die and everything. But we do still have the Made by Elves stamps bundled up. If you wanted those, I'm sure Corey will toss a link into the chat for those. So we have them on sale when you buy all 4. So you get the full 4-pack. That's kind of the bundle we did up for this class to give you guys savings. And then we also have it set, if you want a list of everything that we're using in class, you can go to our website at ecstasycrafts.com and find it under the inspiration tab. You'll see the little virtual classes and then the Made by Elves virtual class. So you get all kinds of fun little characters in that kind of bundle of stamps if you wanted. Okay, now where was I? Browns. Do her little belt. I don't know. I feel like this one's a girl. I don't know. And the hair. Again, just tap, tap, tap in those teensy tiny spaces so you don't get too much ink in there. There it is. Thanks, Corey. The stamp bundle. Beautiful. No problem, Karen. Happy to help. yeah, we wanted it to be a class that everybody could join, and you can craft along with what you've got, and scoop up anything you still needed, like the feature products, you know. Okay, let's do our greens. Do the present in the light green. We'll do the sleeve while we're there. Just the little sleeve that peeks out underneath the bigger sleeve. And then while it's still wet, add that darker green to shadow. There we go. Then let's go light green on the zigzaggy part of his hat. His heart, I don't know. Guess we don't have to apply a gender to the elves. There we go. Cute. Add a little shadow on the brim of his hat. What else do we need? Focus on the elf first before we do the present. Or I'm going to anyways. Okay. Red. Some red stockings. I'm just going to do every other line on her stockings. Red. There we go. And every other line. Now what? Oh, red on the present. Doy. Just tapping, leaving the polka dots white. Tapping so that you don't get too much ink in there and it bleeds into the dots, the polka dots. Any other red? I think that's good. We could make the top of this present red if we wanted. We could. Why not? We can do whatever we want. All right. Now let's add some of that fresh yellow, that light yellow. Color in our bow. And add a little shading with that slightly darker color into the center and out onto the edge. There we go. And let's do our belt buckle in yellow. Nice. Maybe the little gift tag there in yellow. Shade that one with a little bit of our little darker color. And let's do our scarf. Should we try and see if we can leave those lines white? This is a test. Doesn't matter if they get colored in too, but I'm going to see if I can do a light enough touch with the fine tip of my marker so that it doesn't bleed into those lines on the scarf. Leave the skinny lines white. Let's see. Where are we? How good can we get here? Just light taps, tap, 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 just to add that color. You can always go back and add more, but it can start to bleed when you get too much in there. Carol, thanks so much for joining. Thank you, thank you. I had a blast. We'll see you next time, I hope. Okay. Tap, 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 just to get, see if we can leave it white. I think I did it. I don't know if the camera picks it up. I got a little bit of bleeding, but whatever. Okay, and do I dare add a little bit of orange to shade? Oh my goodness. Okay. There. So I just added that orange to the base of the scarf. Alrighty. Should we color in the face? color her face in. So I've got my skin tone, and I better remember to have my peach close by. So we'll do her hand there and her face. And a little peach cheek. Oh my goodness. It just comes to life when you color that face in. Just comes to life. Okay, let's use a little bit of our blue. Let's go powder blue, light blue, and then we'll have our little darker blue, kind of icier blue close by to add in highlights. Or not highlights, my goodness, shading. Or we can try and shade with the same color. So do a quick swipe across the polka dot dress. Quick swipe. Or we can do shading with the same color. So we shade the kind of outside, and then to leave it light on the inside. So I just colored the outside bits. Now I'll go over the full thing of the skirt. So we get a second coat on the outside bits. Do you get what I'm saying? So the shaded outside bits are a little darker. And it leaves a little bit of a lighter patch in the center. And then we can add shading with our icy blue. Underneath the arms, we can add it on the little tails of her skirt. Cute. Coming along. Alrighty. Now, do you want to try that same technique with the vest? We'll color the outsides first to create that extra layer to give us shading. Color the outsides first. And then we'll go over the full thing. So it darkens that outside bit and leaves it a little bit lighter in the center. Then we can always add a little extra shading with our darker pink if we want. Just in the corners there, maybe under the arm. We can do the same thing with the hat. Color the outside bits first. And then go over the full thing. And add more shading with our darker pink. Cute. Add a bit of pink to the top of our present. There we go. Oops. Add that light gray to give our little puff ball some shadow. Then we can also use that light gray to add shadow to our dress if we want. We can just shadow as if there's shadow under the vest. We could go on the inside of her legs, a little swipe, just to add some dimension to those stockings. If we wanted. Did we hit everything? I think so. Okay, let's do our little present. Green. Start with green. Go in with our light green. And darken it up in the center of our bow. Bye, Ashley. See you next week. Thanks for coming. Okay. Oh, and we already picked our winner. So if anyone's leaving early, we've already picked from everyone who's kind of here at the middle point of class. I'll just announce it at the end. For our giveaway, I didn't even tell you guys what we're giving away, did I? Wow. It's just a $10 Ecstasy Crafts gift card for joining in. That's it. Kind of nice. Could pick something up with that. So I'll announce that winner at the end. And if somebody's already left, I'll tell you anyways. I'll make sure I get a hold of you. As long as I have, if you're a regular customer, then I'd already have your contact information. Okay. I'm going to do the same kind of checkered. You're Sue. No, June, don't worry. You made the cut for the draw. Don't worry. The card costs are like the 12 days of Christmas. Sue, just you wait and see what we have planned for December. You think this is like the 12 days of Christmas? Phew. This is nothing. Okay, I'm just going every other check in that light red on all 3 lines to give that checkerboard effect on our present. And then I'm going dark red on the opposite ones on the top and bottom run. Just tapping to get that color in there. Just on the top and bottom run of that checkered area on the present. Then it gives us a little basket weavy type of look. And we'll make some of our polka dots red. Add that in and around. And we'll color that little heart red. And that little line red. And some polka dots green. Color them in all different colors, whatever you want. Any of the colors that we use in the card. I think I'll go blue. And maybe the dark green. Nice. Oh, and then we need blue. Add blue to the rest of our tag, the top part of our tag. And why don't we make the bottom part of our tag around the heart? We'll make it that pink color. Nice. Oh, June, you're so welcome for doing these videos. I have so much fun with them. I'm glad you guys like them too. Okay, and then let's add a little shadow with that light gray just under the tag and under the rim of our present. There we go. Okay. Make sure the ink is dry. And we'll restamp it with that black ink. Let's see. Get that thing tidied up a bit. Bring our stamp press back. Make sure we wedge it in the corner there. Nice and snug. And line those up. Make sure it's lined up. My goodness, it shouldn't have gone anywhere, but oy vey. Okay, then with our black ink, ink the stamp up. Ooh, I always get so nervous that it's not going to work. There we go. Brings it right to life with that crisp black outline. Oh, these stamps are so cute. I love the little rosy cheeks. Okay. Cuties. Okay. Okay. Put that ink away. Put our stamp back. There. Now we're going to use the smaller oval nesting die to cut out our little elf. I use the gray and then black June, the gray ink first, because I find no matter what, I haven't found an ink that like perfectly does not bleed when you use alcohol ink markers. So I stamp with the light gray so that you don't notice any bleeding as much, even though like Memento is the best, I find. It's the best one I've found. It doesn't bleed that much, but you get just such a nice crisp look over top when you re-stamp with the black over top. So you don't have any black bleeding. You just have the light gray. If any bleeding is going to happen, you don't notice it as much. And then that crisp black re-stamped over top just brings it to life with the alcohol ink markers. Okay. And so we're going to use our die cut to cut out that little elf. Let me know how it works for you, how the technique works for you. Ooh, what a cutie. Okay. So now we'll just mount her onto our card base and use glue or foam pads or tape. I'm going to use a little tape. Just stick her on there. In the center of our oval. And I'm going to attach it to the card base with foam pads just to pop it up a bit. Again, you don't have to. This one doesn't. But I like to. There we go. Popped on there. Now, where'd my present go? Oh yeah. I'm just going to fussy cut out the present. It's pretty straight edges, nothing crazy to cut out. With just a little pair of scissors. Get rid of all that other stuff. Nothing too serious. If you guys know from my other classes, I just don't have the patience for fussy cutting. I don't find it enjoyable. But something like this is like nothing. Nothing. Here we go. Lickety split. And we'll just pop another foam pad on there. Whoa, one foam pad. And pop it on. Ah, cute. Just fills it out. brings it to life. So nice. And then we can always add, if we want, some washi tape on the inside. Bring that scene. I love this washi tape. This is from the same Made by Elves collection. I know nobody likes fussy. Well, no, I shouldn't say no one likes fussy cutting. I know some people do. But why don't we put it on the inside? Run our washi tape along the bottom and just bring that wintry scene to the inside of our card. And I like to just run the washi tape out past the edge and trim it up. There we go. So cute. Sue loves it. Yeah, Sue, you are nuts for enjoying fussy cutting. In my mind, anyways. Okay, there. Card number 2, quick and easy. Love it. And I'm so glad you guys were crafting along with me. Loved it, loved it. Oh, I have a couple other cards, just some other ideas. I made a little stamp with the snowman from one of the stamp sets. Or not as, I made a little tag, not a stamp. But I mean, this guy is just too cute. We got a little elf hanging from the North Pole sign. All from the Made by Elves collection. I love this one. There we go, using that same frame, but in a little different format with the other girl in there. Oh, this Christmas tree one. I should have added some garland there. It's missing the garland, right? Yeah, they're all the characters are just so cute. I love it. I love it. Okay, where's my stuff? There. Okay, so I still want to do a draw for that $10 gift card. Oh yeah, sure. I can share the pictures of those cards in the Facebook group. Absolutely. I hope you all share your pictures of the cards that you crafted along with us, whether they're exactly the same or your own little take on it. I love seeing your work. It's always so different. So we've picked a name. You guys know we did it earlier. Well, there was the most people watching. So drum roll, please, from the crowd. Brenda Lapp, you are the winner of the $10 gift card. Congratulations. Congrats, Brenda. I'm just now realizing, like, oh, how do I get your information? Brenda, are you friends with us on, or do you follow our page on Facebook? Can you send us a message with your email? That's what I want from you. Please and thank you, Brenda. Or you can send us a direct message if you know how to do that in the chat. Send it to Ecstasy Crafts, a direct message to Ecstasy Crafts, just your email, please and thanks. And then we'll send you your $10 gift card, just a little something to say thanks for joining me live. I had so much fun, and I hope that you are all able to make it next week for our little studio light cards. I'm very excited for this ornament shaker. It's a cutie cute one. And I can't wait to craft along with you next week, next Thursday, same time, same place. And we shall see you then. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope you have a great rest of your week, and we will catch you next time. Until then, happy crafting. Bye.